Hey guys, Dirt here, and I just got back from a special advance screening of This Is the End. It's the new comedy from Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, and it's basically a comedy of the apocalypse. A few years ago, I guess, Jay Baruchel, I guess is how you say his name, he was on Undeclared. If you saw Undeclared, you know who that guy is. He and Seth Rogen made a trailer for a short film they called Jay and Seth versus the Apocalypse. And there's a lot of dispute whether or not it actually became a movie or not. Is it just a trailer online? But regardless, that somehow started to steamroll into this new movie, This Is the End. And the basic story is Jay comes in to visit Seth. The two of them are hanging out in Los Angeles. They go to this party at James Franco's house, and while they're, at this party and they're having a good time, Jay wants to leave for cigarettes. He and Seth go walking away from the party for a little bit, and the apocalypse hits. 9.7 earthquake, blue light comes down from the sky and sucks people up, and they are left behind. They go back to Franco's house, and crazy hijinks ensue as they become basically stranded in James Franco's house, which is like a giant concrete bunker. There's a lot of celebrity cameos in here. You got people like Michael Cera, you've got Emma Watson, you've got Paul Rudd, you've got Rihanna, you've got basically just... it's like they drove through L.A. one day and just said, oh, hey, you, well, we did a movie together. Why don't you come and be a part of this this movie? And all these little cameos basically lead up to Seth and James, Jonah Hill, Jay, Craig Robinson. I think that's it. And they're all holding up... Oh, and Danny McBride. Almost forgot Danny McBride. They're all basically the only ones who survive this initial attack, this initial wave of the apocalypse among their group of friends, and so they're hanging out in the house. And there's a couple things that I think maybe we should talk about right off the bat. One of the themes that they keep going back to is, the Bible, the apocalypse, Revelation, and is this a plausible play out of the apocalypse? Do they understand their theology? No, they don't. Everything that they basically talk about, what they do, what they reference is pretty much all wrong. But, as a Christian, I wasn't offended by it. Sometimes movies do things and I get a little, it just feels hinky sitting there trying to watch it. But this one actually, it didn't bother me because the entire movie is so over the top. It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon. And I was no more offended by their depiction of religion and faith than I would be watching Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny, shooting each other and halos and wings, playing the harp as they fly up in the sky, and then they shoot each other in the sky, and all that kind of stuff. It's along that same road, along those same lines. So, not offended by it in any way. It was actually a lot of fun. It was very funny. There are a couple things, though, that really stand out about it, is that it, at times, is very intense. I mean, it is a movie about the apocalypse. It's a movie about the end of the world. And so there are moments where it is incredibly gory. There are moments where it's very intense with demons and monsters, people getting decapitated, people getting possessed by demons, cannibalism comes up even at some point. And so a lot of those things kind of change the mood of the movie very quickly. There are moments where it's very funny and then very intense and then very funny again. There are moments of incredible gore, but they're followed by an intense humor that plays off the gore many times. And so, that was okay. My wife, she doesn't like scary movies. She never watches them, doesn't go see them. And so there were a couple times in this movie where she, was kind of cringing and kind of closing her eyes and hiding, because a lot of that type stuff, it's too much for her, and she really is uncomfortable watching, the violence and the gore and the horror. But there were some times that they played it so well that it was very funny. But this is, obviously nothing you want to take kids to. Foul language, lots of penis jokes, lots of masturbation jokes, and some of them are quite foul, but still quite funny. But talking about this movie, being that it's called This Is the End, being that it's about the apocalypse, it's about the book of Revelation, it's about all that stuff, that is really not the focus. Like, that's not the core. And that's probably part of the reason why none of that really bothered me, because really what this movie is about is celebrity. I mean, that's really what it all comes down to. And you notice that I opened up talking about this movie, not talking about the Bible, not talking about how it talks about religion or faith or anything like that, but how it's these famous people. I mean, that's really what this movie is about. It's about celebrity. It's about making fun of Hollywood types, making fun about how phony people are, making fun of the secret lives of certain celebrities. Michael Cera from Arrested Development has a larger cameo. So does Emma Watson for Harry Potter fans. But Michael Cera's character, he's pretty much the complete opposite of who he really is. He plays himself to such a degree. He's blowing cocaine in people's faces and then joking around with them and whatever. And so it really comes down to making fun of celebrity is really what this movie is about, and how celebrities, they're treated differently from regular people, yet obviously they are regular people. Celebrities aren't superheroes or anything like that. So that's really kind of the play of the whole movie. That's really the core of it. There are a lot of in-jokes. There are a lot of the famous celebrities that show up that make a lot of these cameos make fun of themselves and who they are and the roles that they play, some of the movies they've been in. So some of that stuff really, it's that's the type of humor. So if you like Hollywood, you like things that poke fun at the Hollywood lifestyle, poke fun at celebrity, then that's really, this movie is geared towards you. Now, very foul in many places, some of the worst language that you can hear in a movie, and yet the whole time very funny. Even, at some of the parts that had my wife cringe at the intensity of it and how scary it is and whatever, the parts that made her laugh really loud out loud. She really enjoyed, that stuff. So you do have to kind of worry about that balance. It's not going to be entirely a fun, comedy. It's a dark comedy, and some of the dark parts do get, pretty dark. But, overall, really fun film, really good. It's one of those movies that, I will watch again. Like they've done with Pineapple Express, like they've done with Superbad. It is one of those movies that you're going to watch it, you're going to get together with your friends, you're going to watch it again. A couple of years later, it's going to be one of those things, I'm sure, that's on Comedy Central at 2 a.m, and you and your stoner buddies are going to watch it again, and it's going to hold up pretty well, I think. Overall, good film, and definitely worth checking out. So This Is the End. It's in theaters starting this weekend, so look for it.